This is Blocks to Flow, the space where learning, living, and leading return to alignment. Hosted by Kohila Sivas. Together we reconnect, restore, and rewire the missing link. Unlearn survival, relearn rhythm.
Hello, everyone, and I am so excited to be here. And today it's just going to be me. I don't have any coaches with me today, but it's going to be just me. And I have something very, very important to talk to you all today. That is going to be about being confident, but not only being confident, but also about self-love and self-worth and confidence. When all of those things go together, I want to talk about that today. So that's what I'm up to today. But before we get started, we do need to bring ourselves here and now. I don't know about you. Sometimes on weekends when we have more time, we think about our past. What about you? How are you feeling today? Maybe you've been thinking about your past. You know, when we think about our past, it's not something like we tell ourselves, no, I'm going to think about it right now. It just happens to pull us into it, right? And usually when it pulls us into the past, it's usually the bad things, the things that you don't like or you didn't want to happen. It happened anyway, and you're still beating yourself over it because you should have done this, could have said that. Why did I do this? Why didn't I do that? Right? These kind of conversations are the ones that our brain likes to take us into and keep us stuck. So, with the past, as I always say, what's the point of thinking about it? When I can't do anything, you can't do anything, there's nothing else we can do. It's already done, it's already happened, it already is over. So, what we can do is only pick up the lessons from the past and we can just let it go because it's not serving us. Is it? Maybe it's serving you. Maybe, I don't know. You tell me. Can you tell me in the comments if you're watching me? Tell me in the comment section. Do you think the past has served you as much as being here and now could? What do you think? What do you guys think? Because a lot of the time we do enter this past conversation. It's like reading the same chapter or watching the same movie. Just a replaying again and again. It doesn't serve anyone unless you're looking at something that's memorable, that's something that's positive, something that was beautiful. That's okay, right? But even that, if you're not here and now, you can be dreaming in the past about what happened in the past, something beautiful, but you can also live here and now and create something beautiful as well. So, what I'm saying is, whenever you go to the past, try to talk to your brain to bring yourself to now and here because this is the place you can learn. We all are learning all the time. It doesn't matter what age we are at, right? We can learn here, we can live here, and we can lead ourselves and others in this moment. This is the only moment that it can happen. Any other moments, it's not possible. Nothing can be done about the past, and nothing can be done in the past, right? It's over. So take the lessons and let that past go. Now, some of us also like to think about the future, which is beautiful, right? I always say it's good to think about the future because we want to see what's ahead of us, right? We always want to know what's next. So setting good intention to the future is good. But I don't know about you. I know many of us, including myself, maybe you can relate to this, that I usually think about future with my past projection onto it, which means that I think about how it could go wrong, like it went in the past, how something might not happen just like it did in the past, how I'm not capable just like in the past. So all of these things, when I'm designing my future or setting my intentions for the future, I usually think about it from the lens of my past. Anybody can relate to this? Can you relate to this? And when I look through the lens of the past into the future, I'm not really letting the future happen to me, am I? Am I letting the future happen to me, or am I trying to push my past onto it and then start creating the future I don't even want? Why do I want a past that I didn't even like? Why do I want that in the future? I don't. And I'm sure you don't either. So why do we do that? Because it is the way our brain works. It wants to protect us. So what it wants to tell us is to be very careful. You remember it happened in the past. You remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Instead, listening to our brain, we can just talk back to it and say, you know what? I know the future is possible for me. I know the future is available for me. and for all of you. So why don't we just bless it and release it so that when it comes to us, we'll be ready for it, right? Instead of projecting the past and worrying and creating anxiety and stress. That's not how we want to live, right? Nobody wants to live like that, but we do. We all do it. We all do it. So that's why talking to our brain helps. So when I stop thinking about the future and when I stop thinking about the past and when I tell my brain to come here and now, guess what we can do here and now? In this space, you can learn. You can learn anything you want. You and everybody can learn anything we want, right? And this is the place where we can fully live. Instead of worrying about other things, this is the place we can live. And this is also the place where we can lead ourselves and others that we love and take care of. So that's why this place is so beautiful. This right here is the beautiful place to be. And most of the time, we're not here, right? We're not here. So that is why it's so hard for us to live or lead or learn anything because we're in the past or we're in the future, then we're not here. So in order to bring us here even more, a lot of the time, you've seen our coaches and myself share about breathing. Breathing is so beautiful. It's so available to us. We take it so for granted. So it's so important that we bring ourselves here and now before I begin talking to you about self-love, self-worth, and confidence. So in order to do that, I always like this. This is my favorite one of all. There's so many ways to do it. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to count. Counting is not the most important thing. Important thing is for you to breathe and send that air through all parts of your body and then release it, everything that you're holding. Maybe you're holding a lot of things today. So let's release that. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 8, letting go everything, all the stress, all the worry, all the fear, everything you've been thinking about all day today, maybe yesterday, just let that go all the way out, everything out. And at the bottom, I want you to hold for 4 because this really helps us to settle and ground us is at the bottom. Just hold for 4. So let's inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 8. As I said, let go everything. Don't hold anything. You don't need to hold anything in your shoulders, in your neck, in your back, in your lower back, all the way, everything. Just let them out because we don't need to hold on to anything. Doesn't serve you. And at the bottom, hold for 4. Okay, let's do that one more time. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Really exhale for 8. As I said, let go everything. You don't need to store anything in your body because that's not what the body is for. Not to store stress or pain, right? Just let it go. And at the bottom, hold for 4. Now, whenever you're feeling like you're holding too much, just do this anytime you want. This is so available to us, but we forget to breathe so deep, and we just take our shallow breath, and we just like to hold our, all our worries and stress like this and walk around. Instead, if we just release it, it serves you so much, right? I hope you're feeling that as well. I am. And also, whenever you're doing any type of speaking like this or anywhere, or you're stressed about anything, this actually helps in all environment because right now I feel very, very relaxed myself to speak to you. So it actually helps us, and you can teach your children or anyone because it's so, so powerful. Okay, so today we did the breathing. We're now grounded. So let's talk about confident. I don't know about you. A lot of people, act as or say as confidence is something that you just say it and it just shows up like I'm going to be confident. So when I was young and when I was growing up, I used to think, okay, confident. Okay, let me think about confident and I should just be confident. Unfortunately, that's not how confidence work, right? That's not how anyone becomes confident. Confident is a result of other things that we need to do. that is more internal than external, right? It's all in the system that has to feel confident in order for me to display outward that I am confident. So I used to think the opposite. I thought confident was something that, you just say and you just get it like this. So, you know what? I realized later in my life that things like motivation, confidence, all of these things are results of some other major things inside of our body, but our society, our culture, all of us talk about it as if it's just something that we just get it without prerequisites. So the prerequisite for confidence is what? What do you guys think? It's more towards loving yourself. What I realized over the years of helping thousands and thousands of people is that when you don't love yourself, when you don't know your own worth, you can't be confident. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many degrees we get. It doesn't matter how many friends we can have. It doesn't matter how much successful we are. If it comes to, if you ask yourself, do you love yourself? What is your self-worth? How do you feel about your self-worth? When it comes to that, your confidence usually is very much tied to it. And that's how it was for me. Until I worked on my self-love and self-worth, confidence was never to be found. And it would disappear, even though I would, pump myself up by saying, yeah, I'm going to be so confident. I'm so confident. I'm going to go into this situation and I'm going to be so confident. And then all of a sudden, I just start shrinking in environments that makes me not feel my self-worth. And self-love disappears. And then I just act as I am not confident. Anybody can relate to this? Can you relate to this? Why is it that we think confidence is the first step? Why is it that we think confidence is the first step we start with, and that's where it all begins? Because nobody shows us in any, like in our education system or in our family life, like our parents, they never say as it's all about working internally, right? It's almost like it's a command. It's almost the same thing with motivation and same thing with mindset. If you think about it, people say, let's have positive mindset. I used to, when I was young, I used to be like, okay, positive mindset. I'm going to have positive mindset. And it wasn't working because I didn't have positive mindset, because I was full of negativity, because I was surrounded with so many negative situations in my life. I even needed to end my life at the age of 12. I've decided to do that. So for me, positive mindset was like, I couldn't get it. It wasn't like, it was like a genie. So I was like, magic. Positive mindset comes to mind, because positive mindset comes from internal work. Internal systems must be aligned. I need to be aware of what's happening to my positive mindset first internally before I can then say, oh, I do have positive mindset, right? So this is the problem. I realized later that we so talk in result oriented words, and we tell people as positive mindset is something you just create all of a sudden. It's not. It starts with first awareness of this soul here. This soul is this system, this biological being, me, everyone else. We need to understand what does it take for me to become confident, become motivated. So all of these are results. Anyone can agree to this? Yes. If anyone's watching, to let me know, because I love to hear about how you feel about confident motivation, positive mindset, growth mindset, all these words. All of these are results. What does it take to become that? Does anyone help us with that? Sometimes we say to people, try harder, right? Try. You just push more, do more, try harder, push, keep pushing, and you'll get to be confident. And sometimes it's like some people say, let's just start repeating affirmations, and that's how we get to the positive mindsets, and that's how we become a positive person, and that's how we become more confident, right? But have you ever noticed that these things don't stick? They don't really work? Because eventually, when things don't work, guess what we tell ourselves? We tell ourselves that, and this happens with students so many times too. We tell ourselves that something is wrong with me, because everybody says, this is how confidence is formed. This is how positive mindset, this is how we become motivated, and I'm trying and I can't get it. And then I think, what? Something must be wrong with me. That's what we all feel like, right? So quietly in our mind, we tell ourselves something must be wrong. And exactly what I did too when I was 12, 13, 14. I used to think that something was wrong because everybody seems to be more confident than me. Everybody seems to be more motivated than me. Everyone seems to have positive mindset all figured out, and I wasn't getting it. Anybody can relate to this? Then we feel like, what is really wrong with me, right? So that's what I want to talk about today, because it's not about fixing yourself because something is wrong with you to fix yourself to gain confidence. It's more than that. It's more than that is understanding the systems behind what creates the confidence, right? As I said. So again, confidence is not something you start with. It's something that shows up when your systems feel safe enough to move. So this is systems, this biological system. If it's safe enough, it then comes as a result of it. It shows up. It doesn't start with it. It shows up in your actions, the actions you would take, because you're in alignment with who you are. The soul is in alignment with who I am. Then I will take actions that will be aligned with that. Then I show confidence, right? So it's a result of that. You don't build confidence by telling your mind what to do. It's not about, okay, mind, let's become confident now. We're entering this situation. I'm entering this conversation, so I better be confident now. So let's just get to the position of confidence, right? It's not like you just tell your mind that. It has to come from everything that you work and how you align and activate your systems that you are as a human, because we are all made out of so many systems, and we think of it as, we just show up confidence, we show up with motivation, right? We just show up. We don't show up. We have to create that. All of that has to be created, and then we display motivation. Then we display confidence. So let's look at how this is tied to self-worth. Your self-worth doesn't live in your thoughts alone. It lives in your nervous system, in your experiences, in your patterns, right? So the self-worth is deeper than anything else. So if your system feels unsafe, you will second guess yourself, hesitate, and you will start shrinking yourself, right? So when our system, especially our nervous system, is not in alignment and it is not in a place of safety, usually we're going to start guessing, second guessing ourselves, doubting, and then that brings on fear and hesitate. And then you can see how that is tied to self-worth, and that is going to be tied to how much confidence you're going to be showing up as. Because if you're second guessing yourself, and if I'm second guessing myself, and if I'm hesitant, I'm shrinking, how would I look any confident in the out into the world where I display this, right? It doesn't work like that. So especially our system, nervous system, has to feel safe. So a lot of us, a lot of our students, a lot of our kids these days are not feeling safe. Their nervous system is not feeling safe for so many different reasons that we've been talking about on this show, right? So there are some identity loops we can look at as well. I want to go into that before I go into the next point. The identity loop. Sometimes what happens is when we don't have confidence show up so many times in our life, and when we start second guessing ourselves, when we start to hesitate or shrink to fit into an environment. I used to do that all the time. I used to have so many ideas, but then when I feel like the environment is it's not quite right for me. I feel unsafe in that environment for some reason. Maybe the way they're speaking to me or how they're looking at me, all of these things, when it makes me unsafe internally, I would start shrinking. Then I won't look as confident as I could be. Even though I had confidence to come into the situation, I would shrink myself and show less confidence. And then I would not be speaking. I would turn into a huge listener. Anybody can relate to that? In situations where you have all the ideas, you have like everything they're saying, you have so many things to say about it and towards it, and you even have a brilliant idea, but then you just start listening and you just become the third or the fourth person in the conversation. No one's talking to you, and you just start listening. Because why? Because I have identity loops that I wasn't aware of. Maybe you might have identity loops that you're not aware of as well. You know what? One of my identity loop was early on, I decided to mute myself. One of the identity loop is that I'm not that good at speaking. So I have to be very careful how I speak, and I might use the wrong word. So my identity was that I'm not a good speaker. I created that loop. So when situations come where the environment doesn't feel right for me, where I feel unsafe because I have looked at the other people in that environment, as I'm studying it, I notice that I don't fit in, or something has happened that made me realize I'm not feeling right in this environment. All of a sudden, my identity will pop up that I can't speak. So I have to be a listener. So what is your loop? What kind of loop have you created? What identity loops do you have? Sometimes I hear people say things like, I am not good enough in something, right? If you start saying I'm not good enough at something, so for example, I've helped thousands of kids and families with math in my past. One of the things with math everyone says is I'm not good at math. And I have so many adults even tell me to this day, I wish I had you as a teacher. I wish I had you as a coach. I don't like math. I'm not a math person. I'm not good at math, right? So if we keep saying that, if I have that identity, I'm not good at it, where would confidence ever show up? And how about the self worth behind that? Just by saying it, we can even get rid of the confidence that we can even get to, right? And that identity is a big loop which needs to be dissolved, which needs to be retrained at the neurological level so that we can have neural pathways that are new ones need to be formed. And this old one, which is keep serving, has to be dissolved, because otherwise there's no way that you can move forward. And that's exactly what we do with many of our students who think they're not good enough at something, or they're not good at something, or they're not good enough at something. And there are adults who are like this too. Rest of their life, they're carrying some of these labels that they created themselves, and they have made it their identity. I'm not a people person. How many of us say that I'm not a people person? I am an introvert, right? I don't like social situation. I'm not a social person. Now that's a big identity, right? So when you're not a social person, I'm an introvert. All of those identities, do you think confidence is going to show up anytime if we want that to come out? No, because you've already told yourself these environments are going to trigger you in not showing confidence. So we do need to work on the identity loops that are associated with self-worth and confidence before we can display confidence. So I can't just tell somebody, okay, with somebody with the identity loop, I'm an introvert, I don't like social situations, I'm not good enough, to say, you know what, let's build confidence. I want you to be confident. They're not going to get there, because they have strong neurological pathways that tells them that they're not capable in those situations, and they have so many evidence that to prove them, and they're including their brain will tell them that you're not capable, don't even try. And when we want them to show up with confidence, automatically this loop and all the things that their brain will tell them will hold them back completely, and they will be paralyzed in situations like this. And then that further validates their loop that, yeah, see, I tried, I can't be confident in these situations because I'm not a social person. I'm an introvert, I cannot be with people, and I cannot show confidence in these situations. So there you go. So even if they go out and try, they're going to be not successful, and which just reinforces what they believed before, right? So that's another way that confidence needs to be worked internally. It's not worked outside. We are all trying to work it from outside, and that is the problem. That is exactly the problem why confidence disappears when it needs to show up, because it's attached to a lot of different things internally, and we don't look at all those internal things. Where else do you see in your life confidence being taken away? If I was to ask you, it's public speaking for many people, social situations since COVID for so many young adults. We see that with so many young adults cannot socially go out and do things anymore. A lot of families are saying their young adults are basically in their rooms, cannot go out of their room, won't go out. We have so many people that come to us for coaching like that. Why? Because during COVID, people have stayed home, and that has taken so many people to not go out like they used to. So that way, now they already have formed some habits by staying at home, and those habits are more safe, feel safer than being outside in the public. So that is now hurting some of the young adults, because if you were 16 or 15 when COVID happened, now we have kids who are young adults who have this problem. So, which means they are staying indoor, and which means they're so much on the online, which means their social anxiety is high, which means they don't have confidence to face. So, which means what? A lot of things. Getting a job is hard. Getting into a relationship is hard. Being with other people, even family members, are hard, and they're just isolating themselves. So the confidence has disappeared. So can we change this? Can we help them? Yes. Only way to help them is to internally look at what is the block, what is the real block, and what systems are being blocked. Because and then looking at what identity loops have they made, and also looking at what do they say about their self-worth and about self-love. How are those two associated? It's because confidence is directly related to self-worth. Now, when I was young, I always go back to myself as example, because right here I'm only talking to myself today. So when I go back to myself as self-worth, I didn't have a great self-worth when I was growing up. I hated myself. I didn't love myself at all. Not until like maybe about 6, 7 years ago, I think I started loving myself. I love myself now, but when I was young, I did not love myself. I used to rip my picture. I used to never take pictures. I used to think I'm ugly. Like all of these things were there. So, how can I, if you think about it, be confident if I had that internally working against me? How can I display confidence in anything? I can't. Can you think of how a child or how someone could display confidence if they feel that worse inside of them? Or even somebody else tells them that you're ugly. And then they took that and they bought it. They believed in it. Now they think they're ugly. Maybe they didn't start off like that. For me, I did. I always thought of that myself. Nobody told me. It's just whatever happened to me, I made up all of those stories, because we have our brain, which is very powerful, and it's crazy what it can tell us, right? So my brain told me all of that. But some people, maybe somebody else told them that, or something happened to them that made them hate themselves and not have self love for them, or self worth was destroyed. So if you're not feeling the confidence in some of the situations or in your life, I would go and dig deeper into how much do you love yourself? And then you might ask, how do I know I love myself or not? There's so many ways to figure out if you love yourself or not. Do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? I used to not able to look at myself in the mirror. Now I love to look at myself in the mirror. Can you look into the mirror and look into your eyes and talk to yourself? I used to be not able to do that ever in my life. I couldn't look into my own eyes. I hate them. I hated them. Now I can look into my eyes and talk to myself. That's how you know you love yourself. Can you take pictures of yourself? Smiling, different faces? Can you do that? Then you love yourself, right? Because these are things that when you're able to look at your own self without criticizing yourself, without going, you know what, I hate that smile, or I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like the nose, I don't like this. Instead of that, you just look at the beautiful face you have, no matter what. That's self love. Can you be by yourself? Can you spend time by yourself without feeling lonely? This one was so hard for me. I mean, I have to share with you, like it was hard for me even to 5 months ago. It was so hard for me. I was always around people. I always wanted to be with people. I always wanted to be with my loved ones. It was so hard for me to be by myself. I never thought I could even be by myself. It was so hard. But when I started like really being by myself, something changed. Something so changed. And from that, I got more confident. And it doesn't mean I'm saying you have to leave everybody to be confident. I'm just saying, can you take some time for yourself and be by yourself and enjoy that time by yourself? with yourself. That's self-love. This is what I'm learning as well. I'm telling you something that I have discovered. That's another way to know, do you love yourself? Now, do you take care of yourself? Now, something else that I used to ignore is my weight, my what I eat, how I ate, all of these things, what I drank. I didn't care. Now I care so much, which means I love myself, right? So, do you care about what you eat? Do you care about what you drink? Do you care about all of those things for you? Then that is self-love, right? How else can I know I love myself? To start enjoying simple things, very simple things. You start enjoying simple things, such as the sun, the moon, the stars, just the simple things, just breathing, just sitting by yourself, just grounding, breathing, just listening to your breath. All of those things makes you believe, makes you fulfill yourself and to show you that you love yourself. So if you haven't done all of these in a while, I would say, why not? I would ask, why not? Why haven't you done any of this? Now, if I love myself, do you think I would have better self-worth? Because who else is gonna give us the worth? Do I wait for external world to tell me who this person is? This person is for you. Do you want to wait for others to tell you your worth, or should you have your own worth? Never let anyone else show you what your worth is. It's not worth it. Because they're not in any position to judge what is your worth. You are the only one who knows your worth. So when we start loving yourself and showing, just doing these things as many times as possible, then your self-worth is going to go up. Because the more you love yourself, the more self-worth is going to grow. Now, when the self-worth grows, and you know what that is, not anyone else, no one else needs to know, not even your loved ones need to know, just yourself, then guess what? You're going to be confident. These are the internal work that we need to do in order for us to feel confident. That's the result of it. It's going to come and you're going to feel confident. And then you won't shrink in situation. You'll just open up and you'll be proud to be in a situation. I just explained to you, I used to shrink in every social situation and become like the ear in the room. Nobody even noticed me in many conversations. People would ignore me and won't even see it. I thought, why are they doing this to me? No, I did it to me. Do you see the difference? They didn't do anything to me in those situations. I did it because I didn't love myself. I didn't know my self-worth. So when I showed up, and I shrink in those environments, and then I think they're doing to me. Nobody did anything to me. I did it to myself. Maybe you are doing to yourself as well. So if you want to be more confident in life, in your relationships, with your kids, at school, if you're a teacher or an educator, if you want to be confident, I would ask you, how much do you love yourself? And if your answer is, I don't know, then I would investigate. Who else would know how much you love yourself? Self-love is so, so beautiful. It's a beautiful relationship. It's the most important relationship every single human has. Unfortunately, we tend to look external for external validations and external love to fill us, but those will disappear. Only self-love will never disappear. It's the only one we have it permanently. But we can avoid that too, because I used to avoid it myself, thinking I can love myself. I mean, all the stories, right? I would ask, what are you telling about yourself? What is your brain telling yourself about you? What are the message that's coming from your brain? Look at those stories. Then, if they're telling you like you're not this or that, I would challenge all of those thoughts that are coming up and say, why are you saying this? Oh, that's talking to your brain. I love talking to my brain because I don't trust my brain. I don't know about you guys, but I don't trust my brain. The brain is the most powerful thing, but it can also tell us all sorts of lies. So you better question it when it says you're not lovable. and you cannot love your own self, ask it. Why not? What's happening? What's the evidence? Show me. Why can't I? What's wrong with me? Something else I also learned. We always think, we always call ourselves, I can't love myself because I'm not beautiful. This is not good. My nose is not good. My hair is not good. Or I'm not a good person. I'm not this or that. It's all your brain making up stuff. So here's your homework. Listen to your thoughts that are coming up. Don't start with confidence. It's not the starting point. It comes as a result of internal work. That's what Readiness OS is all about. Working from the inside out so that we can do all of these things that the world demands us for, like confidence, motivation, positive mindset, all of these things. Those are results. So if I want any of those results, I need to work on internally. First, I need to come home to myself, be in this soul, and then I have to look at all my systems if they're in alignment and are they in activation. So then I can get into the state of acceleration where I can feel confident, I can feel motivated, I can be successful. So since we have been taught the opposite way, we started with the results and then we got lost in, I can't be confident. I don't understand how to get there. So we get so frustrated and then we label ourselves, you're not capable, just forget it. I'm telling, this is the right order. It's the readiness first. So look at our systems. How can I become confident? What is the requirements for confidence? It starts with self-love and self-worth. So do you love yourself? And how much do you value your self-worth? And does it depend on you or other people? If that's the case, then that's another place we have to work on. And when that all of them become aligned and activated, you can be confident. And nowhere you have to ever shrink. Nowhere ever you have to dim your light to fit in. Nowhere. Because the only person who ever did that was you, and including me. I'm the one who dimmed my life. I'm the one who shrinked into fitting into environments because I didn't do my internal work. When I started doing the internal work, when I was ready, confidence showed up no matter what the environment was. And if the environment wasn't right for me, guess what? I'm so confident that I will leave the environment. Because not every environment we need to, fit ourselves and be stuck to it. If it's not the right fit, we can leave. That's also confidence, right? But instead, when we don't have confidence, what we do is we shrink to fit in, which will hurt us. So that is what I wanted to talk to all of you today about. Confidence is not the starting point, it is the end result. So how do we start? By looking at yourself. Internal work comes first. So if this resonated with you, I shared so much about my life and what I have done and what has happened to me in the past. I would love to see if you can share something as well. I mean, I share all of this not to get sympathy or any comments for myself. I'm sharing because I've come a long way from deciding to end my life to where I am today. I've come a long way, and I share this to show you and show all of you what's possible if we start coming home to ourselves and work from internally. And then we can look at all these external qualifications that the world demands. Unfortunately, we're always told to do the opposite. And that makes us get stuck. That makes us get blocked. And that's what Readiness OS is all about, is unblocking and getting every human into flow so that they can achieve anything they want in their life. So if this resonates with you and if you want to learn more, send me a message, drop a comment in this under this video. I'd love to hear your perspective. If something I said didn't resonate with you, please share that with me as well. I love to hear things that doesn't make sense. More explanation is needed or any questions, just share with me anything you want. And I would love to connect with you. And we have so many coaches who can help you move into flow as well if you need it for yourself or for your child or for a student. Just send us a message. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening and night, and I will see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to Blocks to Flow, where learning, living, and leading return to alignment. Keep reconnecting. Keep restoring. Keep rewiring your way back to rhythm. Discover more at holisticsuccesscodes.com and join the movement reshaping how we learn, live, and lead. Until next time, flow forward.